Hello, guys. Welcome to part 2 of the episode with the boys. Like we said last time, it went a little bit longer than I expected.
Just a little bit longer.
Just like 2 hours longer than expected. But yeah, here's part 2. We're excited for you guys to hear, and let's get into it. We wanted to do like a little segment in this episode, I guess, about like pursuing a girl, because Jill and I have had many conversations after, just like on the side, about how we thought you guys did a really good job at that when it came to like wanting to date us and making sure that like you guys both really had good intentions of doing it the right way with God in the center. So we had some fun questions that we prepared to kind of just hear your thoughts on that. Like if there's anyone else listening that wants to do that, you guys can kind of speak into that. But the first question that we had is, how did you guys know that you were ready to start a relationship? So whoever wants to go first.
Do you want to go?
I just talked a lot.
That's fair. Okay. I'll try to pull something off the cuff. Honestly, I think it was more so a matter of where I stood with God in my life. And I think once I knew that I was whatever relationship I jumped into wasn't an idol, and God was still at the center of my life. It was really about, you guys were talking about pursuing. It wasn't about, like, I came back and my goal was to pursue God. And that was the first and primary goal in my heart. And then from there, it was just kind of like, oh, there's Jalen. But like, and then it was more so answering that question of, can we serve God better together? And can we do a ministry better together, or would we not? And I think once I kind of got to understand who you were as a person, it just kind of like answered that question for me. So it was like, I know that you're a God-fearing woman, and I knew that you would help further that. And I was just like check. And that's what mattered. It was literally that. Like, I know we've kind of jokingly talked about like checklists or whatever. That's really what it was for me. It was just like, can I find someone who's going to do that? Because honestly, in my life, I can say up to that point, I never found anyone who had done that, who had even been really a Christian. So it was like the second I found that, I'm not saying that you're like, oh, first Christian, wow, that's cool. But like, it was just like, it's kind of just like, I just knew. Like, it sounds like such a weird thing to say, but I just knew, like in my heart, I was like, I could see this going so far. And so it was just kind of like a matter of committing to it and being like, okay, like I'm going to put my heart out on the line, and I'm going to just kind of like go out there and like ask you out, and just like, doesn't matter what happens, like because I
took you long enough to do it.
Yeah. Because honestly, like, it had been a while. I think we're both of us kind of new, but like we weren't. I say both of us, but I really did. That was something I struggled with pursuing. Is I struggled with really knowing what I wanted to do, and so a lot of it was just prayer. It was just showered in so much prayer, and it was just like, God, I need discernment, I need wisdom. Like, I don't know what my next step should be, because I was like, this is potentially one of the most important decisions in my life, is like the way I look at it. And so it was like, I want this to be something from God and not from my own strength. And the second I kind of turned it over is when like things just like doors opened. Like, I was able to talk to Sam and others, and just kind of like get insight on like who you were as a person, and kind of like get to talk to you more, and had conversations with you more about it. And just like everything, just doors opened and opportunities were created the second it entered prayer, and the second it came to God's feet. And that's just kind of where I went with that. But Sam, you got anything?
I cannot top that. That was really good.
Yeah.
But mine, can you say the question again? I need to hear like what I'm answering.
So how did you know that you were ready to like actually start a relationship?
That's a hard question. I feel like the only answer I can come up with is like, I knew I was ready to start a relationship with you. I wasn't at a point where I was like, oh, like, I'm ready for a girlfriend, because that was like my whole mentality, like all throughout high school, was like, I was never like, oh, I'm not ready for that. I was always like looking for a girl. And the problem I kept finding with whoever I liked at the time, or whoever I started talking to, was I had doubt, because every time I would start getting close with someone, I would like ask myself, what if this isn't like who God wants me with? Or like, what if like this isn't the person that I'm gonna end up with? Like, will I be wasting time dating them or something? And and that was like every single girl that I talked to. There was like, doesn't matter how much I like her, it was like, but what if it's not the right person? And I knew, like, within days of talking to you, like, that doubt was completely gone. And, like, there was no doubt in my mind that I wanted to date you. And I think that was, like, that feeling that I had had with every other girl wasn't there with you. And so that was a sign. And then also, like, just our story in general with, like, being kids and everything. Like, it's not a story that everyone gets to have and, like, go through. And so I remember telling you, like, that summer at camp, I was like, there's no way that, like, I can be best friends with you right now after everything we've been through, after, like, years of, like, disliking each other. And then, like, me moving back here on a whim. Like, I chose to move back to Massachusetts. A week later, I was living here. So, everything just played out into us getting where we were. And I was like, I can't be here, best friends with you, and marry someone else. Like, there's just no way. I didn't believe it was an accident. And I really, like, could see God putting pieces together and, like, doing things to, like, connect us again. And I don't know, I kind of took that as a sign of, like, you know, she's there for you. And so then it was a question of, okay, I'm ready to date her. Is she ready? And like we talked about, you wanted to wait, so we did.
That's good. I don't know what else to say about it.
Subtempest pirate.
No. Whenever you don't know what to say.
I need to ingrain it in their
fill the
brains
silence
so
with
they
it.
don't forget.
Yeah. Like, do, like, some, like, psychological crap with it. Okay.
Don't tell me to. I will do that.
Okay, do it. So the next question is, what were your guys' like thought process and like how you wanted to pursue this as girl, but like us? Like, what was your thought process going into it? Yeah.
I think you don't want to go first. Am I going? I'll go. I'll give you.
Go. He'll do it.
No, so I think it just came down to ultimately, like, I think looking to the Bible and just looking at the scriptures is kind of like man's role in that, and just kind of looking at, like, okay, I'm supposed to be provider and protector, and I want to be able to be the leader, and I want to be able to, like, and kind of like finding some of those verses about that and kind of exploring that more. And it was just kind of like, okay, how do I go about doing that? So it was just ultimately, it came down to overcoming whatever fears that I had and just kind of like putting that aside, putting what I thought God was like pushing me towards first. Is that what I'm trying to think of what the question was at this point?
Those
Okay, good. Like, where am I going with this?
Yeah, I start thinking about my answers to these, and then I forget the question. And I'm like, wait, but is this group of information that I've now compiled
I'm
going to
here.
answer the question?
It gets
Are
there
you done?
somehow.
Are you
Yeah,
have
are you
more?
done? I think it's done.
What was the question again? For both, not just for Sam.
For Sam,
I read it off Jaden's
What was your
phone 'cause I
thought
forgot.
process pursuing like each of us?
Oh, just like as a person, like not just in general.
Yeah,
just saying-
so like you
okay.
knew you
Yeah.
want
Gotcha. Okay, no, I was like, I knew I had thoughts when you were reading the question off. It just like kind of disappeared. Okay, so just like pursuing you, I think it was like I was kind of hinting at it. I feel like there was a lot of fear of rejection. Like, and I that was something that I made kind of clear in the first podcast that I was on. And like, it was just like, I think the second I put that fear behind, and it was like, this is what I want, kind of restating what I said, just like, this is what I feel like God wants me to do. It just became like, okay, so now what? And like, the second that happened, it was just like one step after the other. Like, okay, so now I'm going to try to like, I guess like go to my way to make you feel special and like loved and just kind of like, I guess, pick you out of the crowd and try to get those one-on-one conversations and moments with you. And I know that was a whole awkward phase that you guys made fun of. I figured that out afterwards, but which we don't need to comment on. But
I was gonna say something.
No, but
Okay.
regardless, it was just like, I think once it was definitely awkward, and I think I just had to push through that and just really go for the time. Like, can I get can I get some quality time with you and just kind of make sure I can understand you as a person from you and not from other people, not from friends. And like the second I kind of saw your heart, it like made everything so much easier because it was just like conversations came easier. I feel like the time was like less kind of like not forced, but it's like it was just like I wasn't trying to go with Kevin and be like, how do I should go in their office and say something and be all awkward about it. Like it was just like, hey, like what are you doing like this weekend, or like what do you like, and just kind of things just became more natural, and I think that's what made it easier.
Mm-hmm. I also, something you didn't say that you did, you talked to a lot of people too. Like you mentioned like Sam, but you like also talked to like mentors and stuff about it. Like you talked to his dad and other people about like what it would be.
Wow. Okay.
What it would be like to like pursue. Did you give names? Did you tell them who it was?
No. Oh no.
Like when you're talking to people?
I don't think I did for them. Well, I mean, I did for you, obviously. I'm trying to think of, I don't really think I gave a name. I think I just wanted principles. I wanted to have like biblical advice from godly men and just kind of like have them pour into me. So like I mentioned it, but like when I'd say like obviously I would joke about how like long I took, but a lot of it was just me in prayer and thinking and just like really trying to reflect on what my heart wanted. And the second I knew what I wanted, it was like I think that was the conversation we had on our second date, was just like, this is what I want. And then we just like laid it on the table and it made it nice and easy. And
I want 9 kids, a 3-story house, and a 5-car garage.
Holy crap.
Imagine.
Jaden, you're gonna keep up with
No.
But yeah, I just really liked how intentional you were. Like you, like on our second date, you told, we kind of like we like went over like back what we were each doing separately to like go into this relationship. But yeah, I really liked that you were talking to other people and getting other people involved.
You keep having like the very profound biblical answers.
That's who he is.
That is who he is. That's Hunter in a nutshell. Like you cannot have a conversation with him without him bringing up Jesus, which is a very good thing.
So good. I love it.
My answer is gonna go more down the lane of like, from the girl's perspective, because like you said, like you came out of a very bad relationship, and so for me it was like, it wasn't about what I was doing, it was about what I wasn't doing, or like how I was leaving room for you, and like look at it as like, how much are you willing to give, because how much are you asking for? Like if I'm asking her to date me like every day for years, right, like that's a commitment. And so if I can't put in whatever she needs, which in her case, like you wanted a year of being friends and just getting to know each other, and so if I tried to tread on that and like push, which, as we've talked about, like was hard sometimes, and I might have, messed up a few times. But if I was like, oh no, like I'm just gonna like convince her to do it early, like that was the thing. Like when you asked for me to ask you out earlier, I was 1, shocked, I didn't see it coming, and 2, I said no at first.
Yeah,
I was like, no, we made a commitment.
Yeah.
And it took like a week or 2 before I caved, and I was like, okay, we can do it sooner.
Okay, fine, Blair.
You're insane.
She put the thought in my mind, and I was like, no. And then it was on my mind, and it kept coming back, and I was like, no.
Okay, but
Maybe.
we should also say too that at that time he was planning on possibly going into the Air Force. So there was going to be a possibility that you were going to be leaving for quite a while.
I forgot about that.
Yes, which is also why I was like, okay, wait, like
no, I was definitely that was way after. I was definitely not going.
around that time though.
You told me in like
He
December.
has so many different career changes, you can't keep track.
Yeah.
So many different.
I'm like, what is it? Like backyardigans. Like just a new adventure.
Days in your
Every
episode.
time you see me, I'm doing something
No,
new.
you know Trish from Austin and Ally?
No,
Yes.
I don't.
She does. And that's
Yeah,
what it
like
is.
every episode she comes in with a new job.
Gotcha.
You're not quite like that extreme though.
Well, anyway, what was I saying?
You were saying how I brought up the Air Force, but I cut you off about giving me time.
I was definitely not going to the Air Force by the time you said that. It was like a few months later. But lost all train of thought.
You were saying how you were giving me space, like, and I had asked you to date
Right.
me earlier.
So like, to me, like, if a girl asks for something and you look at it as, okay, I can play along with that and try to get her to date me, or try to get her to like me or anything like that, like, if you're treading on like the boundaries that they've set and the things they've asked for, then 1, it's disrespectful and like deceiving, and 2, it's probably not going to work out because, again, like I said, like it's a commitment. Like, I wanted to ask her to be my girlfriend, which is not something that she gets to pick and choose, like, the days that she gets to do it for. And so, like, if I couldn't give a year of my time and, like, wait and, like, meet her requests, then, like, why should she give me years of her life? And so I would say, like, if you have a girl that you're interested in, I find this funny because I feel like your podcast is mostly girl listeners.
We have some guys listening.
To, like, the two guys out there.
They're
us.
just sitting here.
It's just us.
Or
It's-
even
it's
for
your
a
dad's.
girl that like is wanting
My
to
dad
know
does
what
not
she
listen
should
to
look
this.
for in a guy. That's also who you could speak to too.
Well, so to the guys who are interested in a girl, the first thing you need to figure out is what she's looking for. Because if you go into it like looking for something and wanting specific things out of it, one, like, don't set yourself expectations, because that's harmful and that's not gonna build your relationship. It's just gonna tear it down when those expectations don't happen. But two, like, it's just as much her relationship as it is yours. Like, it doesn't matter if you find, like, the prettiest girl or, like, the popular one, or, like, if she's, like, the nicest girl you've ever met, because, like, just as much as you want her, she needs to want you. And if she has things that she wants out of it, or, you know, doesn't want, like you didn't want to date, then you need to respect that and you need to figure that out. And then from there say, okay, how can we go about this? That was a terrible answer, but
No, that was
No,
good.
no.
That was really good.
kind of
yeah.
zoned out.
Yeah, it's hard
Oh,
sometimes
No, I
to
did.
answer.
Shock it
I
off.
did too.
Well, it's hard too because this is your first time doing this, so it's like
Yeah, he's a newbie.
you're a newbie.
No.
Yeah, but I actually talk into a microphone all the time. Tempest Pirate.
Oh.
Subscribe.
I was gonna say though, kind of going off of that from the girl's perspective, like it meant a lot to me because I had never had that, like a guy being willing to like wait and give me the time and the space that I needed, and you were very respectful.
You did. In like 4th grade, there was a guy that liked you. And he waited a while to tell you he loved you.
This is true. This is true.
Fun fact. We were like saying we loved each other for like months, and then your parents found out because they would like go through your messages as they should. I mean,
Yeah.
you were like what, 11,
I don't think
12?
they went through my messages. I think that
They did. You told me they did.
no, something
you lied to
happened
me.
to where our iClouds disconnected and they saw the messages. I think, or something. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but
No, our conversations back then pertained to like, I love you. One day we're gonna have a house and like 4 kids. I love you too. I'm doing homework. No, but I remember like your mom sat you down and said like the word
Yes,
love
Jana.
means a lot and you're still young. So you need to wait until that word really means like everything.
mm-hmm.
And you texted me and you're like, this is what my mom said and I think she's right, so we should stop saying it. And I was like, Jenna, I love you. But back then, I was like, what? What? You can't tell me I'm not in love with her. So I kept saying it. And you didn't. You tried to find
You
ways
would
around
say
it.
Thank you.
No,
Like,
so
what
my
would-
thing was the whole, if I say love ya, then he'll never
Oh, it's
catch on.
fine.
He'll never catch on that don't mean like I love
like
you.
love ya, LUV.
No, just like
Oh.
LOVEYA,
Yeah.
like
I-O-Y.
love ya. So I kept being like, love ya, yeah, love you
Really?
too. And then he one day was like, why aren't you saying, like, what happened? And I was like, oh no, he caught on to my plan. But yeah, I think I stopped.
I did not. I kept saying it.
But I forget what I was saying before all of this.
I do too.
I think I was saying how you were very respectful, which is one thing that I really appreciated because you were giving me the time that I needed. You made sure that you weren't like pushing boundaries, and even when you had those little like mess ups, you made sure like you were genuinely sorry after, and you like showed that you were putting an effort to like do things the right way, even if we weren't perfect. And also the fact that you were very intentional about keeping God at the foundation, which like you'd send me like verses, or you'd be like, how can I pray for you today? Or if I was having a hard day, you'd be like, okay, remember like God says this, or like make sure you pray, like I want you to do this right now. Like you genuinely cared about me, which was something I wasn't used to either, which meant a lot. But yeah. Just from my perspective.
Do you guys remember, this is so random and completely unrelated, lollipops? Or
Yes.
whatever?
I call her lollipop like every day.
Yeah, that was so weird. Anyway.
Now we have to explain it.
Well,
A brief explanation.
yeah, I don't know.
We're on the
whole
playground. I find one of those like Moncala marbles. Is it Moncala? Is that the marble game?
I don't know.
I don't
It
know.
was
Yeah, I
a
think
marble.
so.
Marble
Yeah.
game? Thanks, Moncala. Find one of these like little gem things on the ground. And I remember picking it up and looking at her, and I was like, oh, it looks like a lollipop. And I don't remember why or how, but like eventually I called her Lollipop. And for some reason it stuck. And so like from that day on, I would call her Lollipop. I'd call you Lollipop like every day. It was like your name in my contacts, had the little emoji next to it. And
That was
yeah,
Jalen.
it was like a thing
so
that I just
weird.
did not forget.
Yeah.
Yes, it was weird then, but now like years later, I remember like the first time I ever called you that again was like a sweet thing because it was like
Yeah, it was one
we're
of those things
still
you're
those
looking at,
like
you're
we're
like, oh my
those
gosh,
kids. That
Wait,
were
do you
in
call
love
each
back
other do you call her lollipop now?
Not all the time, but he'll like in a sweet note or something. He'll be like lollipop, or like if I'm like signing something, I'm like oh lollipop, like to go back.
So I would I wouldn't do something like that nowadays. Like I wouldn't start something like that. Like
Yeah,
I'd look
fair.
at that as weird.
Yeah.
But like because
We were kids.
there was an
then.
11-year-old who was like in love with her and like called her his lollipop and now is like
Fair.
I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I am not backing down. I'm proud of it.
Be proud.
No.
Yeah.
It's sweet. It is. Sweet.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it'd be
Yeah.
sick. Imagine if we still had that lollipop thing.
It'd be
the Moncala marble.
I don't know where it went.
I would turn that into a ring.
That's an idea.
That'd be cool.
It's foreshadowing. He has it.
He's already got it, guys.
Sub Tempest Pirate.
Okay, so the next question is how did you want this relationship to be different going into it? I feel like you kind of already answered it a little bit.
She's my first girlfriend, so I wanted to date her.
You can answer that.
No, I mean, I feel like I said, it was just a matter of making it about keeping God. I know I've said keeping God at the center a lot
Yeah.
on this episode, but it's true. And that
Mm-hmm.
was the most important thing, I think. Making it so you don't have a girlfriend that's an idol. You have any part of that relationship being an idol for you or having anything compromising you and God. I think one of the acronyms I took from camp that I really loved and kind of connected to what you were saying earlier is, I think your mom actually had this on the board and put this on the board, but she had JOY, and it was an acronym. It said Jesus first, others next, yourself last. And when Threads became a thing, I put it on there. But regardless, it was so true in the sense that it was like I was learning to put Jesus first in my life, you before me, and then myself last. And I like to think that you still see that kind of come out
Yeah.
often, but the reality is that's what it was. It was just like, so long as Jesus is first and then they're next in a relationship. I feel like that's really what made it different. It wasn't about it being that person's trying to complete you. It's like Jesus already completes you. They complement you. And once you kind of understand that, I think it made everything different.
So good. Very good. Yeah. I guess we could answer this question too, kind of. I would say it's very similar. I mean, obviously I wanted Jesus to be the center, like Christ to be the center of it. But also, like, I don't know how to word this, but I just wanted to be able to, I guess, like, just have an authentic, like, relationship where, like, nothing had to be hidden and I could talk to him about anything. He could talk to me about anything. And we just, like, trust each other, like, completely and fully. And from, like, the beginning, I told him that. I was like, this is what I want. And just from the beginning, he was so good about just respecting me and respecting what I want and obviously putting me first. Yes, you still do that every single day. It gets on my nerves sometimes because he doesn't let me do anything for him. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that's what I would say.
That's good.
I gotta step up my game.
No, you're doing good answers.
Yeah, you do. You're really not doing too
I'm
much.
getting lazy in my old age.
Yeah.
Your whole day.
Do you want me to go first or you?
Well, you were my first actual girlfriend. So, like, it's not like I was in, like, any long-term thing before you. So there was never any, like, oh, I got to do this differently. Other than there was, like, this is going to sound funny because I just, like bashed the whole love thing. But I definitely misuse the word love with other people. And I think I just wanted to really know that I loved you before I told you that. Because like I told people that I didn't date. And then a few months later, like when things are over and I wasn't even sad about it, I was like, I didn't love them. Like I loved the idea of them and I loved like their body or something like that, but I didn't love them. And so with us waiting, that was something that really helped because I didn't love your body. I didn't love going on dates with you. I didn't love like anything other than like how you made me feel inside and like what you added to my life. And so I knew when I told you I loved you that that was real and that was like the first time I really knew what it was like.
That's good.
You keep doing that.
What?
Because
I'm just
staring
like,
on.
I
Yeah,
finished
because-
talking and you're staring at me and you're like,
well, because
that
I don't
was
want to
good.
cut you off if you're. I don't want to cut you off if you're still
You
going.
did cut me off. I was gonna say Subtempest Pirate.
Oh my gosh.
My word. I think for me, I don't think I had any like anything I wanted to do different in the sense that I genuinely didn't have any expectations going into like a relationship because of everything like from my past, and like we said multiple times, I needed the time, so I kind of had more fears and like I was kind of scared to go into it. So it wasn't like, oh, like, okay, I'm gonna go into this and this is gonna be different. It was kind of just like walking into the unknown, like not knowing what to expect, scared that like things were gonna repeat itself or that things weren't gonna work out and I was gonna put my heart on the line again. But I think kind of what Jalen said, I was thinking about this yesterday actually, like there's something like so sweet about having a relationship where like it's just like authentic and so much joy and happiness, and like no, it's not perfect. We have times where we fight or we have bad days, but like there's just like genuine love at the foundation of it with like sacrificial love to where it's just like happy, and like I wake up and I'm just excited to talk to you. I'm excited to see you. Like I want to be with you. I want to make memories. Like it's just genuine joy, which is something that like obviously I want it to be different, but I didn't know at the time because I hadn't experienced that. So yeah, I think it's gonna be my answer.
I approve of that answer. It was a good one.
Okay, so then the last question, which you guys kind of already talked about, but
Yeah.
we were like in a past episode we were asked and talked a little bit about kind of healing from like a bad relationship in the past or how to kind of get past that. So from your perspective, like wanting to date us who had stuff that we were going through, had stuff we were healing from, did you guys have anything that you like did or like were thinking about going into that? Which if you guys have already answered that, we can skip this one, but
Like as far as like being careful with you guys?
yeah, like knowing that you were getting into a relationship like that.
I would say it's not something that I can like answer. Like it's not advice that we can just give that will work in any relationship. It takes learning and it's gonna hurt. Like there were times that I would almost cry because like you wouldn't do certain things or like you had set certain boundaries and like we had to respect them and follow them, but it hurt and it was hard. Like I remember something that I was so excited about was like FaceTiming, because that was one of the things that when we weren't dating we were like, well, we don't want to just say we're not dating and do everything that people are dating do, so like we didn't really FaceTime. And I remember when we started dating, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to get to, like, call and see my girlfriend every night. And, like, that didn't happen right away. And, like, now, it doesn't happen every night. But, like, you know, the butterflies have kind of gone away. So it's not like I'm, like, constantly dying to call you. But when we do call, it's, like, really sweet. But then I was like, I need to call her because she's my girlfriend and I love her. And, like, I'm obsessed with her right now because we just started dating. And like you didn't, and it wasn't even like oh I'm busy or like oh I can't right now. It was like just from your past, like you'd been through things, like, and so things as small as FaceTiming were like hard for you. And I did not understand that because I've never had a bad FaceTime call. I don't know what that's like. And so like for you to almost like avoid that at first, it was hard. And it was like, it's not like I can be like, oh yeah, she had a hard relationship, so like this is okay and I'll give her space. Yes, that's like the answer. That's how I have to walk away with it, but it's not an easy attitude to have. And so I would say like being very patient and like trusting. And that was the thing is like before I knew it, like I was like, oh, this is going to take forever for her to like trust me and be able to do these things. And before you know it, like you're there because you learn to follow those boundaries. You learn like what is and isn't hard for you to do. And zoned out.
It's okay.
Classic.
So yeah, just trusting and letting like God do the work and praying about it. Like Hunter's definitely gonna say, praying. Because it's not something that you can do. Like there's nothing that I could have done in that moment of like, can we FaceTime? No, not right now. There's nothing I could have like said that would have made you like change your mind. I could have gotten you to call me. I could have said something or done something and gotten you to call me, but that doesn't take away from that hurt and like the reason you said no in the first place. That reason is still there. And the only thing that's going to take that reason away is just time and giving it reason to be a good thing to call. And like you building trust with me and not thinking back on like how your last relationship was or something like that. So just time and trust and patience and just praying about it.
I like hug you, but I can't. Because there's
PDA. She doesn't.
I don't want you to hug me, bro.
Okay.
Holy Spirit.
No, so no, I think you're right in the sense that like it comes down like we can't give steps like direct steps to follow, just principles and like ideas, and they all come down to just being able to like actually listen to the other person's heart and like actually seek out like what do they want, what do they need, and kind of understanding that. I think on that note, at least for us, it was like honesty was like the big thing. Honesty and communication were like big things. So, like pretty much right off the bat, I think I just was like, I want to understand like what do you need and like what do you want, and I think that was just like right off the bat. Like I think second day we were just like, look, we need to be honest. We need to be able to clearly communicate like what our hearts are talking about, and then just on top of that, just like I think like a lack of expectations. And as far as like those roles, I think when you guys add the title of boyfriend girlfriend, I think it makes you have these expectations you were talking about, like, oh, I need to text them. It becomes a chore. I think when you let it come from your heart and just kind of go from there, it like you were saying, you're just like, oh, I'm just like actually obsessed with her. Like I think that's so much better than being like, I have this checklist item. You know, like for me at least, I love waking up in the morning and seeing a text that was like said goodnight and then being able to respond good morning or vice versa. Like it doesn't necessarily like, it's not like one of those things I wake up and have on my to-do list, but it's just one of those things you do from your heart. So I think if you just follow your heart and seek her heart or seek their heart, because, you know, it kind of applies for both ways, but, you know, that's all you need to do.
Yeah. And on that point of like, it becomes a chore. I think that's like, we have huge like cheating and divorce rates in America and all over the world. But I think part of that comes from this idea that like, you know, dating is cool, dating is easy. And so, you know, if you can afford to be dating someone like financially or like because you look good enough or you're, you know, like popular enough in school, like whatever it is, you need a girlfriend, right? Or, you know, you're a nobody. And so people want to be in relationships to be in relationships, and not to love someone. And so, you know, we have all these people who are dating them, right? And then they find someone that, you know, they like even more. And it's like, oh, well, I was just checking off a box so I can just step out here and, you know, play with this person. But when you really love someone and you're dating them because you love them and not, dating them because you need to date someone, then that's not as much of a problem, because if you're happy and you're like in love, then you're going to be a lot less tempted to try to find love somewhere else.
Yeah. I think it's also just about, like, I've said this before, like, love is always inconvenient. It's going to be hard. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be easy. But I think, to your point, Sam, if it's coming from the heart, it makes doing those hard things that much more bearable and much more, like, less of a burden. And it's more of just, like, something you want to do. Like, I don't necessarily, like, objectively speaking, it's not necessarily convenient for me to do X, Y, and Z, but I want to do it because it's like, that's where my heart is. Like, driving to McDonald's to go, or Burger King, whatever, to go get fries. The point being, like, when you let your actions kind of come from your heart and less about checking those boxes, or like, and I feel like, to your point as well, with the whole public thing, I feel like it's a lot of people are in relationships for that one reason. They want to have a girlfriend or a wife just to check that box, whether it's for tax benefits or for popularity or what, I don't know. But, regardless, it's I think if you can look at the people in the world today, you're going to see more who have had a failed relationship than a successful one. And that's the sad reality. And so I think just if you can find the right mentor, being Jesus, and you can go off of that and have that be the one who completes you, and not having that, like, thing you can put in your Instagram or that whatever, like, that will
You need
make
the
it a lot
little
easier.
chain emoji in your bio. Chain with the lock.
With the
and
little
the
the
date.
date and then the little heart. Yeah. No.
Remember when people used to write their bios would just be all their best friends?
Oh my gosh.
They'd have, like,
We just talked about that in
12
one of our
best
episodes.
friends in their bio, each with like a different emoji.
No, I did that. I would give each of my best friends had a different color heart emoji, and I had literally the entire rainbow of hearts in my bio.
Yes.
That's kind of gay.
Yeah. Well, back then, that's like,
That's
I mean, I
true
guess
back
it
then.
was, but like, it wasn't as,
We didn't know
maybe.
it was that, though.
Wait, it was. Wait. I went to a private Christian school.
Sorry.
Sorry.
You had the whole school on that list then.
I literally did.
Yeah.
First, I wanted to say you would say tax, whatever you tax write off or whatever.
Yeah.
You would. But also I wanted to say how, like, going into, like, another relationship, and, like, I don't even remember the question, but it was interesting to, like, kind of get you used to, like, new, like, healthy, like, communication and all that, because, like, you do so much for me. And it's so weird because at the beginning, I had to get used to it just being good and not being like, oh, what happened? Or, like, stuff like that. And it was just, like, so special. And then, again, with the communication, like, I can just go to you, like, with anything. Like, if anything is even, like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. And you're just like, oh, that's okay, blah, blah, blah. This is how we can fix it. And it's just, like, no biggie. And I'm just like, oh, wow. Okay. Anyway, that's all I wanted.
I want to say
That's
something.
literally,
Jaden just
You
keeps
go.
getting
I was going to say that. That's literally what I was going to say on those two things, because one, I was going to say both of you guys, like, from what I've seen from what I've seen with you and what I experience with you, you guys do an awesome job at, like, serving and doing the inconvenient things. Like, it's funny, even things just as simple as, like, throwing my trash out, or, like, making me something to eat, or taking the dog out. Like, I don't even have to ask, and you'll already be doing it. And it's just like, wow, like, you genuinely, like, love and care about me to serve me. And then what you were saying about how, like, it's nice to know that I can go to you for anything. Like, there have been times where I've, like, been scared to talk to you about something, or, like, something happened. I'm like, oh, like, I'll send a text and expect, like, a full answer, or, like, I'll expect a fight to break out, and I literally will be, like, anxious and sick, and I'm just like, okay, I'm waiting for it. Like, I think it's gonna be like this, and then you, like, reply with something so loving, and I'm just like, what? Like, did you read what I just said? And it's that, like, that unconditional love that's just, like, crazy to experience.
That happened recently. You said something, I don't remember what it was, but I responded, and I was, like, happy with whatever you said. It was, like, good news. And you were like, no, it was, like, good news to me. I forget what it was. It might have had to do with your family or something, but I remember, like, being happy and, like, responding to it. And you're like, oh my goodness, like, thank you. I love you so much. Like, thank you for not overreacting or anything. And I was like, I was like, what? it's like, was that not like a good thing? And so there's just random times like that where like I just have no idea what you're going through, and I never will. Like I'll never know the full story. I'll never know the pain, but all I can do is like override all those bad memories with good ones.
It's true.
I can't say much because I'm a processor.
Dude,
and
she's
then I'm like,
sitting here,
I either
she's
want to hug you or I either
smiling
want to
and
cry,
nodding.
and I'm just like,
Don't cry. Don't do that. That's weird.
I'm not gonna cry.
What were you gonna say?
I don't remember what I was gonna say.
It was literally 2 seconds ago.
What were you talking about?
I said don't cry.
No, like before. I said I want to say something.
Oh, she kind of said
Oh.
the same thing I did along, like how
I can just
What
like
did- that
say
one was
anything
it.
or like go to him for.
yeah, how
With
she can go to him for anything. Or
Oh, right.
Well, that was aggressive.
Yes, because I couldn't remember, and I was like, let's just forget about it. But then I remembered, and I will not forget about it. I want to say, I left for camp, and you guys weren't even at the footsie stage. You were like, hadn't talked about your feelings yet. And because I remember when Hunter came to camp, he told me that he had finally told you. So like this was before anything had happened. You just both liked each other, and I didn't know if it was actually going to go anywhere. And then I come back from camp, and you're dating, and you've been dating for like a month and a half or something like that. And so, to me, I don't spend a whole ton of time around you guys. So like, I'm still processing that you're dating, and it still hasn't fully sunk in. But I will say that I've never seen you happier. And like, as one of my best friends, it makes me so happy to see what Hunter's doing in your life. And I'm not just saying this like
That's
because we're in front of a
amazing.
camera. I'm saying this because like you are one of my best friends, and like I don't know, it's awesome just to see you this happy.
Oh, thank you, Sam. Thanks,
this is
bestie.
getting so deep.
Thanks, bestie.
Listen, a good man goes a long way.
Yeah. Especially
He's
my
a good
sister.
man.
He's a very good man.
Sub Tempest Pirate.
Every time
I think it's
cute.
time that I actually tell them what Tempest Pirate is. I don't think I've
I
actually
agree.
explained it.
Okay, sure.
I
yes,
agree.
do your little.
You're about to
gosh.
lose viewers. Like the moment I
Literally
say it,
instantly.
the moment I say it,
instantaneous,
people are
they're
gonna
click
turn
off.
this off.
Yes.
I
Follow
make
us on Instagram. What a life pod before you say anything. Okay, go.
Yeah, we gotta plug What a Life first. If you haven't checked out the What a Life YouTube, you have.
Should-
You're watching it. Sub. See the
Silly
button
goose.
right there? Hit it. Because then every time they make videos, you'll get notified. And then you'll get to watch more. And you'll get to see people like Jaden struggle to cry. And people like Jalen tell her not to cry. Now, for the real plug. Tempest Pirate. That's capital T E M P E S T capital P I R A T E.
It's like
Tempest
coupon code.
Pirate. It's not a coupon code. It's not a coupon code or an infomercial. It's a plug. That's my YouTube channel where I make Minecraft videos. That's right, folks. I make Minecraft videos. You probably hear that
What a nerd.
and you think like 9-year-olds play Minecraft. Most people do, right?
No, this is
But
cool
no.
Minecraft, guys. It's cool.
This is like we're
It's like mostly
we're
12
approaching
plus
1 year.
year-olds.
In a couple weeks, it'll be 1 year on the same world. It's pretty neat stuff. I play with some friends. We have a good time. Check it out. Drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell, and then watch all the videos. And watch all their videos. Do we have more questions?
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
Oh my
we've
gosh,
literally
do we
been
really?
at this for over an hour.
Yeah.
That's okay. I think your episodes are too short. I told her that when you guys started.
Yeah, but now they're like 50 minutes.
Well, now they're going to
40,
be over an
50.
hour.
Yeah. Literally, our average
I
is
like
going
a
to be
good
over
long.
an hour for
I
this
like a
season.
long
You like a
podcast.
long
That's
podcast?
good.
I do agree. I was talking to somebody about this, and they were like, "Oh yeah, like, oh wait, was it you? Oh wait, we were talking
Yeah,
about
we were
YouTube
talking about
videos. We were talking about YouTube videos, and you were saying short, and then I was like, oh yeah, when we first started the podcast, people told us to do short, and then people were complaining, and they wanted long, and I'm like, I like long.
Yeah, I do
So,
like long.
I
too.
think you
2-hour
guys-
episodes, everyone.
Let's go.
I hope you have popcorn.
What's the next question?
Yeah, ask the
Okay,
next question.
so the next question we can kind of all answer, or whoever wants to answer it.
Oh gosh, these are.
They're
There's.
some of them are fun ones though. We'll start with a fun one.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
What has been your favorite part about dating so far? No one has an answer.
I mean, we've been going off on like really deep tangents,
Yeah,
so I'm trying
It's
to
just a
think if
simple
we want
thing.
to.
This is supposed to be fun.
I just like
Simple
having
thing.
someone to like just talk to, just tell things about.
Yeah.
Like randomly throughout my day, like I send pictures of like what I'm doing or whatever, and just be like, hey, Look at this thing I drew
It's definitely
today.
not the most fun thing I could think of,
Oh,
but it's fun. And it's a weird answer because it's also like nerve-wracking. But it's fun, like getting to watch you interact with my family.
Oh, okay, that's.
Oh,
And
that's
like
so
seeing
true.
you and seeing you get
That's
to
so
know,
true.
because like the first time like you meet my siblings, you've known them
Yeah.
forever, but like you're all different now, and so when you were starting to meet my siblings, like you were super nervous, and they don't really know you, so it's like it's awkward for anybody, like it's awkward at first, and just like seeing the comfort there grow from both sides, like that's fun, because like I look at that and I'm like, we're gonna look back on this and be like, oh my gosh, remember when like everything was awkward? I don't know. That's fun to me.
That's a good answer.
I like stuff like
that.
that. That is a good
one.
answer.
That is really good.
I agree. I remember the first time I met like in like the first week of us dating, I met his entire family, not just his parents and his sibling, but like every like extended person that you can think of. I met them, and I was so stressed. He knows.
I know.
But and then I got there and it was like no biggie and it was so fun. Anyway, what were you gonna say? Did you have an answer?
I did, and I'm just trying
Sorry.
to think of what it was now. No,
Okay.
I mean on that same note, though, I thought it was funny how that what was fun for me is seeing you connect like so easily, because that's obviously something that like to some extent you've seen like where I'm just a little stressed myself of like how is that gonna go, like how, and then it's like the second we kind of like that we got there, like I felt like you really were comfortable, like, and I felt like I was like, oh, like there was a little bit less pressure there to like try to like not show off, but just kind of like for everything to go right, for
I
it to
mean,
be
your
perfect.
uncle literally, or whoever he was, literally saw you. He was like, "Wow, you're gorgeous." I was like, "Thanks."
Confidence boost.
That helped me.
No, but I feel like it just honestly one of the most fun things is just being getting to like grow alongside someone in life. Like the other day when we were like registered for that test, like that I had to take, it was like that was a pretty big milestone in my life, and like being there with you in that was like so cool. And so it just like growing together. It's so fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I agree.
I think I'm gonna go with just like as time goes on, getting more and more like comfortable with each other, which may sound silly, but like at least for me, it can take a while for me to like break down all my walls with people. So it can take, if I'm really close with them, a shorter amount of time. If I'm not so close, like a pretty long time. So like just even for myself, like feeling more and more comfortable, like watching that throughout dating, and just like feeling like I can just like be myself and like be weird or do something crazy and like do it in front of you, and you just like smile or just feel like, oh, like just having that comfortable feeling with each other, I really love. I think it's fun to just see the progression throughout dating.
Next question. That sounded so painful. There's not much to like protect you from
I think I
there.
just lost a rib.
You probably did. Okay, next question. I feel like we've answered kind of these already. What's been your biggest takeaway in this relationship so far?
Jaden doesn't know how to clean squat.
Samuel!
That is not wrong.
Okay, it is true, but like
I'm not gonna bother arguing.
I gave her
I
one
said
look
what I
and she
said.
knew.
I'm
She
a
doesn't
little
know how to
bit
clean.
messy, but I can clean. I just don't sometimes.
It'll work, because if we get married, I hate messes. So it'll balance. It's like
That's true.
whatever you don't clean, I will.
It's true.
I have a very
I'm
different
glad.
answer. Very different answer. I was just gonna say God is good. Like I feel like it just like I don't know. I
love you.
I love you too. I feel like I see His faithfulness in every stage of my life right now, and seeing that. So it's just an answered prayer, and I've said that to you so many times, but that's my takeaway.
That's good.
Anytime.
We actually have
I don't
to
wanna ever fall.
blurt the "I love you" part. That's not allowed.
Oh.
That's not gonna air.
That's awkward.
Sorry, Dana.
Ooh, yeah. That was funny. Okay. What was I had an answer and then I forgot.
I know. I'm like getting to the point where I'm starting to just zone out. Like you were. At the
We're turning.
I'm
into
just waking
Sam.
up.
He's just
Oh,
getting
boy,
ready.
oh,
He's just
boy.
getting ready.
I have demands, by the way. I'm sorry I cut you off.
What are your demands?
Any episode you want me on, you need to have chocolate milk here. You know how Joe Rogan podcast, they like Crack open
I
cold
have
ones.
no idea who that is.
You don't know Joe Rogan?
You don't know who Joe Rogan
He's
is.
one of the most famous podcasters.
What does he look like?
He's like kind of like short hair, like kind of baldish, right? No? Does he have long hair?
He's bald.
He's bald. That's what I was saying. He has like baldish hair.
Wait, I
I know he's
imagine him
fully
bald. Does he have a
bald.
beard?
No,
Dang. Never mind.
you don't know Joe
He's
Rogan.
like a bigger guy.
yeah,
like,
he's a
pretty tough.
bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Anyway, he always has drinks for his guests, so I think you guys should do chocolate milk.
Biggest takeaway.
The biggest takeaway. I'm learning how to deal with emotions more. That's my takeaway.
I still don't have an answer anymore.
Oh, also, I'm not as clean as I thought I was. Cause like your car and like your room is always immaculate, and mine is not. And so that's what my takeaway is.
You are still very clean and organized.
I think I'm more organized than I am clean.
My car reeks.
I think that's what I've taken away.
Yeah, let's compare cars to his.
Here's the thing, though.
Actually, both of theirs.
No.
Whoa, my
So-
car is.
My car's
beautiful
clean.
right now,
Only because
cleaned
he just cleaned
Yeah,
it.
this is true.
I deep clean that thing. My car is clean. Like, I don't leave trash in it. I don't have food in there. Okay? I have like
Jaden.
3 air fresheners. And my car smells terrible every time I open the
You
door.
probably have a rat living in there.
Something
Oh,
bad
gosh.
smells. And Jaden, on the other hand, leaves food,
I
leaves
know.
coffee. Like, I cleaned
know.
that thing out. She had like 3 plates.
You're
I know.
exposing
Literal
me.
dinner plate. Not even like
I-
a caper plate. Like a dinner plate with a
believe it.
fork. So
Bro,
many
this
cups
girl's room
full of
is
drinks.
ridiculous.
Banana peels, like whatever you can think of.
This is a Jaden Rose session right now.
I know.
And it smells
We love
good
him so-
every time. It never smells. And then there's my car that's
Caution headphone
squeaky
users.
clean and reeks. And it's not fair.
Life's not fair.
Okay.
Maybe you need a new car?
Yeah.
No,
I
it's the
don't
dad
know.
car.
Jaden, do you have a
Freaking
response
dad
for this question?
Yeah, did you answer?
Okay, I feel like my answers have kind of all been the same. I was just
I
gonna
don't-
say that
yeah.
dating is very sweet and fun.
That's
my
good.
takeaway. Dating sweet and
That's
fun.
too generic though,
But,
because
but like,
you've dated before
actually,
and it wasn't sweet and fun.
But like my biggest takeaway for okay, this is so bad. This is bad. We're cutting that out.
no, I would keep that in.
No, but the question was my biggest takeaway from this relationship so far is that dating is sweet and fun in this relationship.
Okay.
Dating is sweet
I
and
agree.
fun.
I changed my answer. Ditto? Is that?
That makes me feel
Ditto.
really good about my answer. Thanks, John.
You're welcome. Anytime, girly. Sorry. Yeah, I think is that the end? Yeah.
I think
Are we
that's the
calling
end of
it?
this episode.
Okay.
It's- I didn't even know.
I'm
so
falling
long.
asleep.
Okay.
10.
Yeah, so thank you for listening. If you have any questions or anything for us, DM us. What a Life Pod, that's the Instagram. Yeah, do you guys want to say anything before?
Yeah,
Sub Tempest.
Oh, gosh.
I thought we were
I
gonna
get it.
alternate between.
Jesus loves you, and
This I know. For the Bible.
Tells me
what the
so.
girl wants is just as, if not more important than what you want. So be humble and yeah. Sub Tempest Pirate.
We gotta end on that note.
Well, do you guys want to do the honors?
Oh yeah.
What a
Do you
life.
know what the honors is?
He
And then
knew.
you say, so I'll say
Are
it,
you a
and then you
real
say
supporter
it.
of
Or we can say it.
the
Okay, ready?
podcast?
On 1, 3.
I have a confession. I have not listened to every episode. What a life.
What a life.
What a life?
What a life.
Wait, no, we're all saying it? No,
Wait,
just me and
no.
Hunter.
Yes, we are.
Just me and Hunter. What a life.
What a life.
Thank you for listening to What a Life podcast. You can follow us at What a Life Pod. You can follow Jaden
This
at
broadcast
Jaden
is made
underscore
possible by viewers
no-
like you. Thank you.
You just ruined her flow.
You can follow Jaden at Jaden underscore Noel underscore or Jalen at Jalen underscore Hannah. Again, thank you for listening to What a Life Pod.
And you can follow Tempest Pirate.
He's right. You